Okay, everyone, this is a another GameCom, another Tiger GameCom. That was sent to me by Super Fighter Club out in California. No, not California. So where are they from? Yeah, California. The Super Fighter team. They are the team that actually created the Zaku for the Lynx, which is a great shooter. If you're own the Lynx, I would highly recommend picking it up. It's a great game, great shooter. This is some nice looking art we got from the gentleman who sent this off to me. Uh, Posted out the GameCom today. Oh yeah, you finally rid of that curse? Nope, I'm getting it upgraded. Heck, that's like Febrezing a turd. It still sinks. Still sinks. It stinks. I'll have to agree with that one. Here it is. I've learned that I am about the only person in these United States who will actually even look at a GameCom. The request was to resolve some staticky sound issues. Big problem with the GameCom is it uses a system on chip, so it's really hard to. It's going to be an interesting one to work on. Oh yeah. Oh, listen to that. Powerful. Let me turn that up. Where's the contrast? There we go. Alright, so this is the GameCom. You've never seen one before. It came out, I believe, in 1997. It's a curious creature. It has, of course, you can see it's a standard LCD screen, old school stuff. Lots of reflections on it. The GameCom is kind of unique. It tried a lot of new things. It is a touchscreen. It has PDA capabilities. You have a phone list in here and a calendar. It's got built-in solitaire. This little pen that comes out here, so you can actually it's got a calendar. It thinks it's 1997. Yes. So it uses I believe it's a sharp system on chip. It drives the LCD and it drives the sound. It does everything. So everything's built on one chip. It's kind of a unique system. I actually did have this weird connector here. Was to connect to a adapter dongle, and it has a built-in 14.4 modem. So it was really ahead of its time in that way. There is a primitive web browser, I think. Goodness knows it probably didn't work at all. I think it has a whopping 8 megahertz processor. It runs off of regular old AA batteries, 4 of them. There's a little CR battery in there to, I'm not sure what it is. It's a CR 2032 backup battery, so you can store information on here and not lose it. Even through the viewfinder, it's going to be loud. It's kind of hard to see the screen. It's even harder in real life, believe it or not. I'm actually getting sent 2 more dead GameComs to play with. I'm thinking of installing electroluminescent film underneath the screen to see if we can get basically a backlight for a GameCom. So, alright, so what I want to do is open it up. Let's see if I can figure out what it sounds like. Before I open it up, I was sent with this GameCom. Oh, there's my face. Yay! I was sent Duke Nukem. Why? Why would you put Duke Nukem on this thing? It's horrible. It's a oh. Let me turn the sound all the way up. Well, that's what he's talking about. Dual 4-bit sound, folks. Oh, it's actually easier to play through the viewfinder than it is to yeah, I still haven't figured out how to get through this level. Yeah, that's enough of that. I think I'll be taking some still photos while I do this as well, so you hear me pausing every now and then. Let's see. What sort of fancy screwdriver do we need here? Looks like a Phillips screwdriver. This feels like a 1 almost. It is a 1. Okay, so it's held together with a boatload of number 1 Phillips screws. Use my real camera for some pictures. This thing is a ton of screws. Let's count. Let's count together, shall we? Should I do it in the voice of the count, maybe? 1. Ah. 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 1. 2. Really? Okay. You need to find a jeweler's screwdriver. Hold on. Oh, here's one up here. There you go. Jewelers. Son of a. Okay. Wow. Okay, we get that one turn. Okay. You GameCom, I hate you. Three. I know there's one under here too. I've actually ripped apart 2 of these so far before, but I didn't use them as a GameCom. I use them because I actually kind of like the button layout of this thing. Come on, you smarty. No, that's one way to get it off. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Screw right there. This is screw number 5. To give a comparison, the Atari Lynx takes 5 screws to get the tire back. There's 4 screws underneath the pads, and then there's a 5th one that's in the battery cover. Nice big old beefy screws. Alright. Maybe got a better Phillips here. Nope, try it. If you ever take apart Nintendo, you're going to end up with a bunch of tri-wing screwdrivers, because they wanted some tamper resistance. I gotta strip up head of my screwdriver before getting that one out. Oh, there's the little cartridges that you use. Cheap. Oh, wow. Oh, no. It's get all these screws, and then the whole thing is snap fit together too, just to add insult to injury. Let's see, we got in the tray so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 screws so far. Googling, really. Oh look, not even the same length screws too. Probably should have been looking to see what they were. Yeah, if I cared. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, there's another one in there. So many screws. Why can't I get that one out? Oh, sweet mother of bad engineering. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I got that last blessed screw out of that hole. I had to go through 3 different screwdrivers to figure out which way to do it. Alright. I hate this system. Okay. I need a spudging tool. This thing sucks. Okay. There's spudging tool. Use this for fixing cell phones. Come on, you smart bastard. I hope I didn't miss a screw. Nope. There it goes. Alright, so all I was doing is running the spudger across the snap reliefs on here. Ooh, come on. Why is this one never going to come out? There it goes. Alright. Ah, behold. The guts of a GameCom. Okay, so it's a very simple system. There's actually a motherboard on the bottom here underneath this LCD, and then you have, this is for your A, B, X, Y buttons, basically, start, select, whatever. There's your directional for your joypad, and wonderfully they hardwire in the speaker. There's no connector there to actually pull it apart, if I remember correctly. And you come in here, you got more screw nightmare. I think, yeah, I'm pretty darn sure it's hardwired down to the board. And since it's it's a mono speaker, so you don't really have to worry about polarity on it. So, well, you know what that means. Diagonal cutters. I'll put those back together later. Alright. Fix that later. Alright. So we got more screws here. 1, 2, 3. Push all the case screws over to the side there. Let's go with this driver. This driver seems to do a really nice job. Even though it's not magnetic, it seems to really get a good hook on it. There's another one down here. Looks like it almost tilts up. I'm trying to remember. Maybe this pulls back a little bit. Let's see. Nope. Alright, let's pull this one off since we're here. Take photos. We don't want our video journey to be out of focus, would we? So we have a screw here. Screw here. Whoa, it's on my hand and I don't know where the screw went. Oh dear. Oh, there it is. Put that little short screw on the side. Oh yeah, I remember these screws are super short. Looks like this switch at 00. And you did. Bless this thing, it's got so many screws in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws just holding down that. It's ridiculous how many screws. They went screw happy. How do they hold this down? Let me give a little mechanical advantage here and see if I can pry it up slightly. Or there's a hidden screw. Oh, that's right, I remember now. It's actually a bracket here. So the screw right here. Down here. Put that in the screen screw pile. That's right, this whole assembly, I just remembered. There's actually this plastic bracket that sits on top of. Totally forgot. I don't think there's any technical manuals for this darn thing. Yeah, that was it. They did not make this thing easy to take apart. Where the hell did that screw come from? Okay. thing is, I don't want to like force it, but it's almost like there's like one more screw holding this thing down. I can feel some resistance. I can't for the life of me figure out why. I can see it's just sitting on top of a post right here. The screw's not there anymore. Oh, what's going on here? Maybe I will pull that back here. Okay. It freed one end of the screen up. Oh, I see another screw down there. Oh, so many screws. So many screws. I thought there felt like there was one more holding in. And indeed there was. Okay, so it's off of the pins. Why can't I get you to move? Yeah, see, there's two parts of this thing. There's a, looks like an SPI header for the touch screen, and then there's this ribbon cable. No, this is for the touch screen here, this ribbon cable. I might go to a, looks like a SPI bus, a primitive version of a SPI bus in the bottom. What is it? How do you get this sucker off? What is holding you down? That's the question. I don't know how they designed this thing for manufacturability. I wonder if there's a hidden screw under here. No, it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes they like to do that. They hide a screw underneath a label. I mean, you don't care about breaking it. It's a lot easier to take apart. I do care about breaking this one. Shoot. Well, that just sucks. Life of me, I can't figure out why I can't get that apart. Alright, let's pull the gamepad off over here. It's a combination of directional pad and voltage regulator. Go figure. Of course, there's another 3 screws holding it down. Why wouldn't there be? Half the screws are one size, half are another size. See, that one's got a ribbon cable holding it too. I'm gonna give this thing 5 more minutes. And then I'm going to call it quits for the night because I don't want to throw it against the wall. Look at this. There's gotta be almost 24 screws in there. Game Boy is 5. No, 6. 6 screws inside. That's all the whole thing. This whole assembly comes out. At least I thought it did. Maybe not. Okay. Alright, that's enough for me for tonight. I'm not going to break this thing. I'm getting tired and frustrated, and I'll look at my old GameCom photos from before to see if I'll pull this thing apart. Okay, as I suspected, there was 2 more screws underneath the label where to hold the screen in place. This is actually a really common tactic back in the even now. I still use this kind of anti-tamper kind of thing going on. What it really means is there's just even more screws in this hold this darn thing together. It just really gets you. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At least 11 screws holding this case together, which is just wacky, man. Yay, see, now it came out. It's actually a little, it's hard to show. There's a ribbon cable here, and then there's some header pins underneath. And everything's hard soldered in place, which is great. It's probably the contrast. The whole goal of all this is to get in here and see if I can actually back together a second. Make sure I didn't destroy it. There's going to be no sound because the speaker's disconnected. Good. It's a good sign. So I didn't break anything. And I'm sure that's speaker. Contrast still works. What I'm thinking of doing is, not this one, but some other ones I'm going to play with, is how these LCD screens work is the LCDs are actually transparent. And what you're seeing is just light, ambient light reflected off of the screen and back up towards your eyes. In the LCD layer, there's a polarization layer that sits like this, and the LCDs are like that. And when it's energized, that's what the LCD, you can imagine, as the edge of that blade there. So when they're black, the LCD, the liquid crystal, will actually turn sideways like that, or it can turn to degrees if you're doing grayscale. But if you're doing black, it's like that, and the light gets blocked because the polarization is opposite of each other, so it looks black, and the light that's coming reflected back. What I'm thinking of doing is installing a electroluminescent layer in here. It looks like it's going to be possible. I'm not going to do it to this unit, but a different one I'm going to try putting an electroluminescent layer in there. It was like a whopping like $4 from China, so it's worth the experiment. And the nice thing about electroluminescent, you can actually cut them with a pair of scissors, so I can get an exact fit. Actually, the fit, what I got 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, so I only have to trim like a centimeter off the top of it, maybe even that, so it should fit just fine. Alright, let's pull the batteries again. So I didn't break it. Now I need to figure out a way, so I have to turn my iron on, figure out a way to actually see if I can fix this audio circuit. So I could just snip these wires for the contrast, wheel, which is up here, but I'm a little hesitant to do that for the sheer fact that all the wires are blue, and there's a chance I could mess it up. So what I want to do is go ahead and desolder those. So give me a minute. Alright, so all I did was desolder these two wires here, or even, I don't know if polarity matters, but I marked one of them. One thing you'll notice, and this one's different from other ones I've actually looked at, I swear, every GameCom, this is the third GameCom I've opened up, every one of them is slightly different. Some of them are different kludge wires and other ones. This one's a little different. Must be a slightly different revision. Let's see if I got better image here. Okay, so looking inside, how these systems work is this is a system on chip right here. So this system on chip here actually has the controller for the LCD lines here. Actually, LCD lines here. It also has the built-in audio controller. It has a controller for external RAM, which is probably these two chips here, or it's here. This might be ROM. I'm not sure what this is actually. And you can see it's compared to other systems, it's quite primitive, and you end up with a lot of weird stuff like these ribbon cables held down basically with just a piece of tape, and there's another ribbon cable here. This is an excessive number of ribbon cables holding this whole beast together. This is all the controls for the LCD screen. Not really any schematics for this thing. This thing over here is probably actually a modem. Here's your 10 megahertz crystal. You can actually see the. Bring it up close. You can actually see it. See 10.000. That means it's 10 megahertz. So it's pretty simple. What I probably have to do is, the request was to see if I can improve the audio quality. And this is the headphone jack, and then over here is the. So it's either got to be a bad audio taper potentiometer. One of these caps is dried out, or I don't know what else to do with this thing. It's kind of a challenge working on. I might end up. There's even more screws in this darn thing. Screw. Another screw. Screw there. Screw there. It's just screws everywhere. But anyway, going back in here and see if this cap is still good here. These might, I'm not sure if these are, these might actually be audio related. I'm gonna have to actually go through and trace, because this is actually this is actually the speaker output, so I'm gonna actually have to go through and track back what this flows through. It might go through these filter caps here. These might be dried out, or they might just need to be replaced. Yeah, they're pretty good size. You got 3.3 microfarad, and you got a big 100 microfarad 16 volts sitting there. And the vertical one here, I can't quite tell what it is from this angle. But I actually just ordered a big pile of capacitors, so replace that. This looks kind of like a, yeah, I don't know, head-on kludge there, but it's probably not. This actually is a lot of those kludge lines, and I've seen other ones. I've seen other ones where they got these weird jumpers all over the place. So this one's not too bad. Maybe it's a second rev or something like that. But I'll have to go through and trace it.